Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you've stumbled across me by accident, welcome. I hope you like what you see here. What I do is weekly tutorials to go along with Pat Sloan's sew-alongs that are hosted at her website, ilovetomakequilts.com. This week's video is for block 8 of the summer camp sew-along, which means we only have one block to go. I hope you've all been progressing well with your sashing and have caught that video to help you with getting that prepared. So without further ado, why don't you jump over to Pat's website, ilovetomakequilts.com, download this week's block pattern, learn new things, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, you should have all your pieces and parts cut out as per the cutting directions on this week's pattern. The cutting directions in the pattern tell you to cut 4 squares of the light fabric 3x3 and 4 squares of the medium fabric 3x3 to make the half square triangles. We need a total of 8 half square triangles. So again this week I'm going to use the 8 at a time method, so I have cut the appropriate sized large squares of light and medium to do this. If you need to know how to do 2 at a time half square triangles to follow the cutting directions in the pattern, I have a video, half square triangles 2 at a time, which I'll link to up in the top corner, which will take you to that video. You will also need to cut 4 rectangles of light fabric, the same size rectangles of your medium fabric, 6 squares of medium fabric, and 6 squares of the dark fabric. The 8 at a time method, as instructed before, you draw a line from corner to corner in both directions, place it with the other square that you have cut out, and then we're going to stitch either side of the drawn lines. I'm just going to put a couple of pins just to hold it while I transport it over to the machine. Okay, set that aside. There is one other part that we can do while we're over at the machine sewing our 8 at a time half square triangles, and that is sewing the medium rectangles and the light rectangles together, just with the seam down the middle, and we'll do that at the same time. The 8 at a time method, we have now sewn either side of these drawn lines. We need to slice it in half vertically, then horizontally, and then on the drawn lines. And that gives you your 8 half square triangle units, which we will press to the dark side. So here at the pressing station, we are going to press all 8 of the half square triangles and our little rectangle units towards the dark. From this point, whether you're doing 8 at a time or the 2 at a time method, the steps are going to be the same. I have previously talked about squaring up half square triangles, but we'll go through it again. And as I have stated previously, I do mine 2 at a time. So you have your half square triangle. You can square it up in your preferred method, but this is how I do it. I place the 2 together, I nest the seam, I grab a square ruler, place the diagonal on the stitch line there, the 45 degree, making sure that I have enough fabric outside the measurement required for the trim down, which in this case I do. You'll notice it's excessive because I started with a bigger square than I really needed. Trim 2 sides. Rotate this block. Now this time you still place the diagonal on the stitching line, and then you can get your finish size for around the edge and match that to the 2 already cut sides and trim the last 2 sides. I'll go ahead and get all these done, and then we'll be ready to set up our block. Depending on which method you have used to make your half square triangles, your trim down amount may only be the smallest of 1/8 of an inch trim, and that's fine. What we're doing here is just ensuring that our pieces are square before moving forward, because even a 1/8 difference can put you out by an inch over the progress of a block. Okay, with those done, we can make our corner units now. And to do that, we need both of the dark and the medium squares from before. I'm going to lay 4 at a time. So I'm going to make stacks of 4 of our half square triangles. I'll pop up the block diagram for you to follow. Now there are 6 dark squares here. We only need 4 for this. And the same with the medium, there are 6. These ones become separately a 4 patch. So I'm going to set them here to be sewn down that way. Start by sewing these 2 units together and then these 2. And we'll do all that and come back. Back over at our pressing station now. We are going to press all of these to the darker of the 2 fabrics, or if it's a pieced unit such as this, away from the pieced unit. The path of least resistance, if you will. With those all done, we need to sew these units together here, and these ones are the center unit to create a 4 patch, and we need to sew those together in this fashion. So I once again make my stack, take it to the machine and sew them all up. To press these pieces, we can swell the seam in the middle of this one or just press to one side. It doesn't really matter. But with these ones, we want to press so that the dark is on the top here, up this way, and you'll see why when we come to put the block together. Okay, you can see I have the block laid out now, and we finished construction of this block in a 9-patch fashion. With the pressing that I was talking about before, it was to allow these seams to be opposing so that they nest in every single spot without any other thought or clipping necessary. I shall put this together, as I said, in the 9-patch fashion, which is sewing down these seams first, coming back, sewing down these seams, and then finally doing the 2 horizontal seams. That's that first seam sewn. Now we need to plan how we want to press these units, and we'll start in the middle by going to the outside, and these ones we can press to the inside. Just give it a quick finger press for now. We'll take these 3 pieces and sew those on, and again I'll do that off camera. Okay, those last few are done now, and as you can see I've still got them all connected together. It just helps me keep the order. Again, pressing out from the middle in the middle row, and the top and bottom go towards the middle. I'll go sewing these last 2 seams now, and our block will be done. Both of those are sewn now, and I'm just going to press out from the middle. And block 8 of summer camp is done. Well everyone, that's it for another week. There's only one more week to go. So hopefully you liked what you've seen. You've hit that subscribe button. You've tickled the bell to be notified of what's coming up in the future. And why don't you consider sharing this video with a friend? I'll see you next week. Bye for now.